Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the stream.
Sorry.
It's beautiful. Joined tonight by my beautiful wife, Kimmy.
Hello. Sorry. Hello.
And yeah, we're just gonna get back to painting this thing. So got this big old serpent. Gonna be rendering it up. I did a lot of painting in Photoshop, so like some bigger painting looking things, you know, over top, lots of broader shapes, and trying to flesh out the overall thing before I get into the teeny tiny details. It's a struggle that goes on forever, you know. So that's that. Yeah. Sorry for missing out last week. I drank 2 scotches and was hanging out with Kimmy's cousin, Emily, who's a speech pathologist.
Speech language pathologist. Yeah.
Yeah, for kids.
For me, because I need it.
for Kim, so that she can learn to speak English instead of broken English, which is exciting.
Yeah. So excited.
But yeah, no. Sorry about that. I totally forgot what day it was, honestly. And then I got roped into a project that I've been working on for the past week that I'm pretty excited about. I don't know when I'll announce anything like that. You'll probably see it before I announce anything. And you'll just be like, oh, that's probably Dave.
I'm wondering how far you'd go with that.
So I finished, I think, I did the equivalent of about 13 pages of comics in the last week. And then on top of that, I probably I outlined about 40 issues, or 40, not issues, 40 pages. And then, or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And it's just a bunch of stuff, so that's exciting. I'm excited to work on projects. It's always fun. Yeah, I'm gonna get to work on this, try and get something that looks half decent done. I had jumped off of working on the big old dragon because I wanted to make some progress on the mech there. But now I'm back on the dragon. I usually try and pace it out a little bit, because working on one aspect of a painting for too long, I get kind of bored. And I just stop trying as hard. So I don't want to do that.
This is really cool. I forgot how far along you were.
Yeah, I know. I just kind of stopped working on it completely.
Yeah.
But I was pretty far along in this painting.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what I should have done is gone back and just added in the pigs with these jetpacks and guns and stuff. If you don't know, this painting is about the pig's unending battle with the, urge to masturbate. So that's what this big dragon represents, is the urge to, do that. That's why it's in such a phallic place on the robot.
It was
they're
purposeful.
fighting. What?
It was purposeful.
Yes, they're losing. This is a losing battle. That's the whole point of this image. Will anybody know that if they look at this and I don't say that?
Probably.
No. You think so? you think?
I have faith in your
people
ability to convey your message in your art.
I know.
Especially after what you just wrote. I have a lot of faith in your ability. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh yeah, Happy New
I
Year.
haven't talked to you guys since last year.
Yeah, it's fun. Just kind of working on stuff, building things out. I had I think honestly, for me, when it comes to projects, sometimes I can get like so wrapped up in like this sort of thing, like what you're looking at on the screen. Like this is cool and all, and I like doing this. I honestly, the reason I like doing what you see on the screen like right now is just because I enjoy the like endless progression forward in art, because you can never master it, right? It's just something you do forever. So it's fun to see like growth and new things being kind of uncovered all the time, and figuring out, oh, okay, right, this is like a nice way to approach this style of painting and technique, whatever. That sort of thing is very fun, and it's tedious. It just kind of goes on endlessly, so you know, it can take up a lot of time. But I kind of forgot just how much I enjoyed working on like Steve Lichman. Not that like I haven't worked on Steve Lichman, but I've been like writing Steve. Writing Steve it's just different, because you write for forever, you know, like you write for a really long time, and we have so many issues, and when Dan and I do that, we try not to like get rolling on any one issue until the whole book is completely written and edited. Then it starts to come together. But this project I'm doing now, I'm letting myself build it out broad strokes, but then get running on it. Like I'm trying to do it the way like Shonen Jump authors do their stuff, where they have like an outline for where they're going, but they commit to the story and just kind of roll with it as it goes, as opposed to like having every single thing be 100% ironed out from the get-go, which is kind of what Dan and I are doing. So giving myself kind of permission to just go and then learn along the way. I actually found a couple things that I really liked about that style of writing that I'm going to use going forward. One aspect of it that I really enjoyed doing was kind of doing like a jump ahead comic. So do like 3 comics that happen at different times throughout the process of, you know, creating like whatever that story is. It's like here's a scene that happens, you know, in the middle of the book, and how outlandish and wild do you want that scene to be, and then I would like build that out and then come back to the beginning and be like, okay, now I have like a idea of where this will go, so now I have a better idea of kind of how to construct it going forward. And it gives you like at least for me, it was nice just to give it like a little bit of scope, being like, oh, okay, like if I do this, I'll jump the shark too much, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep things pretty tame for a little while. I want to build and build and build, and then have it get to a certain point. But all that is it's very cool. Like I'd never really approached comics that way. I kind of did with Starvale, because I was just winging it and going into a story without really knowing what I was doing. But I didn't do the thing of like leaping ahead to the middle of the book. And I entirely anticipate that those issues that I've already drawn and written for like those middle sections are just going to be useless. Like I'll never really use them. Not completely. I'll probably have to like edit the hell out of them. But it's a good exercise. It helped me quite a bit in figuring out like what I'm gonna do. So that was neat. Anyway, as always, if anybody has any questions or things they want to talk about, feel free to drop it in the chat. Tag Kim.
Yeah, I'm in the chat.
She's the moderator in there.
I'll read it. I'll do my best reading. Are you listening to music?
Yeah, I'm listening to like Japanese kind of hip-hop-ish jazzy music. You know me, just jazzing out, just getting all jazzed up.
I'm so glad I made this tea. My hands were freezing. It's like so warm.
I'm liking that I finally got back to a place where I can talk and paint at the same time. Do you remember when I like restarted doing lives again?
Mm-hmm.
And it was so difficult to get back to this.
Yeah.
I like couldn't do it.
You also like to just delve deep into answers too.
That's true. I
You're a
talk too
thinker.
much. Talk way too much. Hey, Brian.
Did you get hot?
Yeah, I was getting so gross. There's no way I was gonna wear a sweater through this whole thing.
I thought about it and then I just made tea, so.
By the way, to everybody in the chat who knows me, whenever this project I'm talking about goes live and it starts to spread around, please don't, you know it's me. Please don't tell anybody it's me. I'm telling you because this is a small audience and you're all gonna know. You're all gonna know it's me, but I'm purposefully not saying it's me. So please have my back.
Is that what you decided?
Yeah, keep the mystery. The mystery's funnier.
Okay.
Like, you know, it's gonna be funny.
Okay.
Having some mystique will be good.
I have such a bad headache right now. Just hit me out of nowhere. Like hit my neck.
Okay. The benefit of coming back to a painting is just having the immediacy of seeing like what you need to work on because it's all very clear.
Brian says, if it helps, Dave, I'm not sure I know what you're talking about, so mystery preserved for me anyway. Well, it hasn't been released yet, so.
Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. If it does do anything like I'm thinking it will, you will know what it is, and then I'm just gonna hope that it flies way under the radar for, you know, recollection of me.
Mariachi says, who's the developer for said project?
No real developer. It's more of like, you know, what always ends up I'm mentioning it because what always ends up happening with stuff of mine that gets put out into the world is inevitably there's somebody who's like, I recognize your style right away. And I'm like, shit. Don't give it away. Let people figure it out on their own.
I'll let you read that.
I mean, if it is, Ryan, are you going to tell everybody? Don't be a narc.
Yeah. What are you saying right now? Dave, do you have any hardback Steve Lichtman Volume 2 available?
Not on its own, unfortunately. It was like way too expensive for us to put out individual books. Like every single one of those is like packed away in the 2-packs. So if you look at our shop, that's the way to buy them, is with 2. What I would suggest is, if you absolutely, the 2 of them together, they're as much as one of them should be for how big those books are and the quality. Any other publisher would charge way more than we do for hardcovers. It's $60 or 60 something bucks for 65. I can't remember, for the 2 of them together. That's
It's
crazy.
700 pages?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
So you could always gift one to somebody. Gift the first book if you already have it.
And then they can just borrow your volume 2.
Yeah, when you're done.
Or wait until maybe 3 comes out,
And then they'll
there's
have to gift it.
and then they have to get all 3.
That's my planned pyramid scheme, is that everybody gets the first one and then has to buy 2 more.
They have to buy the first one 3 times.
Yeah, that's how we get them in. You keep on fucking buying these.
Although, I mean, that could be if they do like reprints and stuff, because there are some edits that you wanted to make, weren't there? In the first one?
Yeah, but I mean, the problem with making
Volume 1, version 2.1.
The problem with making edits is that it changes so much. So like the actual page count would change everything. It would change like the binding. It would change like there's.
Is that really how drastic the edit would be?
It depends on the change. I don't know what we could get away with.
I thought they were just like maybe like 1 missing word or 1 duplicate word or something. It was like something like that, right? Or spelling.
No, it's not that simple.
Oh, okay. I can't remember.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff can't be done until like the books are pretty much entirely figured out in terms of page count. Like it's, like when you're building out like the foil on the cover and like not the cover in the back cover, but the spine, and then the actual page count needs to be is it an odd number? I can't remember. It's something stupid. I mean, it has to be an even number, I guess. So like the amount of things that I had to do for formatting was ridiculous, because there's double page spreads in the book, and the double page spreads need to fall on those specific,
Even
and odd pages.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to plan for like where they're
odd
going
and
to
then
be.
Even, right? Is it 1, 2?
Yeah.
Or is it the other way?
Yeah, it's odd, no, it's even and then odd.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all time consuming, because like you put 1 page in there, you can't just add 1 page. It messes up all the spreads. So you have to add 2. And then I'm like, well, what else would I add? Just a regular page. You don't actually have to do that, Mariachi Man, but what I would suggest is before you go ahead and just buy it, there's always people like reselling individual ones. But if you want to support us directly and do that, then feel free. It's appreciated. you were asking about the release of my Veil comic. I still have to figure out what exactly I want to add to that. I pretty much got off of that, and I just was looking at the pages, and I was like, I don't really like. So much of it was just kind of like, do I really want to like put this out with this few pages, have the whole Kickstarter campaign and everything, fulfill all of that? It's like, I guess, I don't know. I know in my soul I want there to be more there. Not that it's not cool, but just that I want more in that thing. Whether it's like a preview of Starvale, the full book, or just something else. Like the art for Starvale added in the back is cool, but I also need to be like into doing that. And I can get into that, but I started really just writing the next book right after I did that, and that was more engaging. And I'll think about it. I'll think about what exactly the game plan is. That that Veil comic is done though.
You finished all the like lettering and everything off stream, right?
Yeah, the lettering's all done. Everything in that's done.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left to do except just release it. I just need to feel good about it. Because even like I like to give myself time with things to like think about it. Like, how do I really care about that? Like, is this like a non-problem? And I think sitting with it even made me like feel that like more so. Where I'm like, yeah, that's not really me to just like put out this little tiny thing. I don't know how good I feel. Like it is a ton of work, but I don't know. Not enough for me to justify going through all the effort of making a print book. I don't think. Not yet.
Saul Goodman says, first time here, hi.
Hey Saul, what's up? Just painting this dragon, fighting this robot. It's just what it is. You can always ask questions. I'll answer whatever. Okay. That tangent sucks.
Which one?
Pig head. I'll fix it. It's just touching that
Yeah.
slope. That
Perfectly.
sucks so bad. Oh boy.
He's inside of it.
Yeah, it looks bad. Looks very bad. Okay. I feel pretty
It's funny how that
good.
like flattens that part so much. Having him in that tangent.
I know. It stinks. It fucking stinks. I'm in the wrong program for like changing that around though. Bought one of these. You've probably seen it right here. this here. It's a TP7 recorder from Teenage Engineering. It's really cool. I like it a lot. It's one of these things where it's like a singular device that, I mean, it's nothing. It is just a recorder, right? But I like the aesthetic of it. I'm a dork, whatever. So I like just having something that feels good. I get like obsessed with that sort of thing. But I use it a lot. And I was wondering, like, how am I going to use this for writing? Is it really going to be as cool as I think it's going to be to use something like this? And my God, is it such a lifesaver, because I don't write, when I'm writing comics and things, I don't write the same way everybody else, well, not everybody else, but a lot of people do, where they sit and they just write and they're in their head and just not talking. I can't do that. I need to walk around and be in action and like talk like the characters and do all that shit. And this thing allows me to do that. And then you can just offload the audio files and have AI transcribe them, or just transcribe them yourself. It's so nice. It's so, like, I don't know why this is so different as far as the tool goes than just talking into your phone, but I don't do the thing of talking into the phone. I don't know why. Just having like a dedicated recorder is so much better. I don't know what that is, but it's a thing for me. And that's been such a huge help for me.
that one specifically, because you can like the rewind function and like the search function on that is really nice.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing of like,
the interface is like really nice.
It's like if you have a really nice game system or something, and the ease of function like in that thing, it's like it's so user compatible that when you're using it, it's like seamless. Like you don't think about it. It's just you're using it. And I think like that's how I feel with this. It's not that it's special with like a recorder, but because it's so seamless for me, the use of it, I find that I use it all the time. But if it were clunky at all or just a little bit awkward, I probably wouldn't. And I think that's how I feel about the phone. It's like a little clunky to record with, especially like on the fly, like record a really quick memo or something. And it doesn't feel like good to use the phone for that specific function, at least for me. So yeah, the thing rules. It's so expensive. Don't buy one.
Unless you have like an excess that you need to write off.
Yeah, I can definitely write it off on my taxes. I've already used it like so much. I've been using it for the project I mentioned before, and Starvale, a little bit for Steve. Yeah, it feels great. I really, really like it. What's my shirt? It's this skeleton guy, and it says RPG, roll the dice, or die, or something like that. I can't remember the company that makes it. You can probably find it. Look up RPG, roll the dice, die shirt. I'm gonna smudge the borders of this dragon. Yeah, it's a pretty cool shirt.
Dave has always had cool shirts, I feel like. Really like stupid, obscure ones that everyone's like, where'd you get that? The one that our oldest is wearing. What is that shirt?
It's a Scare Glow, which is like a He-Man villain. It's just a skeleton that glows in the dark. But the shirt that I got is that skeleton that glows in the dark, but he's holding a skateboard with like a lightning bolt on it.
So funny.
And it glows in the dark. It's pretty cool. I mean, I just have a bunch of shirts that, 5-year-olds love. I mean, look at what I'm painting.
I know.
I am a 5-year-old.
A 5-year-old's idea.
Yeah, yeah, I'm literally painting a 5-year-old's idea. This is our child's idea. Which I don't know if you can tell that. I mean, not the masturbation part. He wasn't like, it's about the struggle of pigs and masturbate. That's my contribution. But his is a robot fighting a dragon. And pig guys with jetpacks. Since I've been doing so many comics this past week, I forgot what painting was like a little bit. Like, God, I don't have to fucking think about this.
You don't?
No.
It's like that you slept on it and come back to it and you're like...
No, it's not that. I
back
just
better?
forgot how,
No.
like, I don't know, uninvolved I am in the painting process. It's just kind of like zen floating through it versus like a comic where I feel like I'm thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's this expression? The expression needs to be this for this reason. Like, that needs to match like the script. Like, everything needs to blah blah blah.
This looks really good.
Thanks.
This is crazy how fast you've done this.
Yeah, it came along pretty quick once it started going. Love the Pacific Rim vibe from this. Yeah. That was a fun project to work on. Doing that work was very funny.
What, this past week?
Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah.
When I worked on
I forgot
the
about that.
marketing and stuff for that.
God, that was so long ago.
Yeah,
That was like right when we met, wasn't it?
right around there, yeah. I was in the midst of doing like a bunch of like that type of marketing work. It was just all the time. But yeah, those were fun experiences trying to figure that all out.
The clown says, how did you get the texture look in the Samus painting? Did you overlay a texture photo?
A lot of that texture comes from the mixture of, like, if you look at what I'm painting right now, a lot of the kind of natural, like, I'll zoom in so you can see it. A lot of the texture that's going on in here is sort of gouache and watercolor looking. Yeah, there's a bit of that like real painterly look coming through, and then after I do all that, I kind of, to get that texture to feel old, you have to mute the colors a little bit, so think about like a faded print basically, or just a stylistic choice of fading something out. It's like that kind of gives it like a textural feel, or at least it allows the texture to pick up a bit, because you can see, just getting like pure black. And after that, I drop on like desaturated noise to give it like a printed look, like it has that speckle to it, like all over, just that little bit of bite and tooth. And then after that, I added on a paper texture that I used. I used it a lot. I use it a lot in like my Starvale stuff and my old comics, and that gives it a feeling that, you know, it's been on old paper for a while. Or some people said that it looked like it was painted on like wood panel. But yeah, just some of that kind of coming through also gives it a nice kind of feeling. You know, most people like that realistic look as opposed to like purely digital when it comes to, I don't know, maybe that aesthetic, maybe that like old school look. At least the thing that like I tend to like paint. That's the sort of artwork that I like too. Things that lean a bit more real as opposed to like soft round brushes and things like that. Okay, what am I doing? Are there any parts that I didn't blur out a little?
That robot's face looks so good. That's crazy.
I like the way he came out.
And I really like your color choices too.
Thanks. I'm gonna do a lot more with like the actual colors on the robot and in the dragon, because they're both a bit, you know, not that there's anything wrong with being muted, but I could add a bit more dimension to them to make them pop more. Just like a little bit. I won't like crush the values or anything, but I'll add something to it.
That's really nice. Zilson said, the amateurish painting I did for the main character in my books took at least 5 months. The fact that you're cranking this out in mere hours is insane to me.
Well, it's all just repetition, you know? And I also get paid to do this like every day, you know? So I've been doing this for, you know, like in a couple of years, I will have been doing this for 20 years. That's pretty crazy. 20 years of doing this nearly every day.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Like, I better be fast. It'd be gnarly if I was like chugging along. It's just experience, you know? Like when you see somebody do anything with ease that seems fairly complicated, it's because they've just done it so many times and they understand how to do it simply.
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic to it. It just looks, you know, anytime anybody does anything well and makes it look easy, it seems like magic. Because when you go to try and do that thing, it feels like, fuck, that's so hard. Like there's a number of things like that, you know, obviously for me.
Do you feel that way when I cook?
I mean, partially. I can't just wing that sort of thing. I can't be like I understand like following a recipe. I don't have like instinct about what goes with what, how to make things like interesting. Like, how do you make something taste like it has value? I don't know. I don't know how to make like a dessert taste like it's from a fancy restaurant versus the same kind of like how do you elevate a pineapple upside down cake? I don't know. I don't know why you would change what to make it taste like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff is hard. But like you putting like the bay leaf in that blackberry
the
sauce, yeah, it's like
for the pavlova.
Why would you do that? But it tastes so good.
Yeah,
then it makes it taste fancy.
I was loosely following a recipe.
But you have like a instinct too, and I don't know. Yeah, anything like that. It just, all of those little things that you learn over time that build and build and build, and then you just kind of forget that you know these things, and then your skill is just set, and you're just growing and taking for granted all of like the really cool skills you've picked up along the way that have led to this execution that looks, you know, like it didn't take you any effort at all. Mm-hmm. You're like, wow, how the hell do you do that? because I do it constantly. It's the only thing I do.
I feel like I cook like a chef because I cook every single fucking day.
I mean, you do.
My
Your
body.
food's so good. I always end up looking at the kids and just being like, you guys don't fucking have a clue. You don't know. I don't say that, but it's like, God, you do not know how good you have it. It was like my mom. My mom was like, we are eating English muffins tonight. And we are not going to get taller. I promise you that we are going to stay this height because I'm going to give you fucking English muffins. Good luck. Working on that project I was working on, it made me feel like I scratched an itch that I didn't know I needed to scratch. So now I don't feel crazy coming back to this and just chilling out. Because I feel like I was working on paintings like this and kind of feeling like, God, there's something else I should be doing. There's really something else I should be doing. I don't know what it is, but I should be doing fucking something.
My brother does competition barbecue. His family is spoiled.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
I mean, that would be really cool for like a little while. At least if you care about your health. I'd be like, wow, another one? Whoa. Just fucking early grave in it. Just grave.
You guys, I gotta practice. Eat it.
Have more pork. My family has heart problems. I wouldn't make it. Because it's like, that's a hard thing to say no to.
It is.
I'm entering a barbecue competition. You know, like the best food, the fattiest, richest food.
God, remember Sweet Cheeks?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
I mean, that's not like,
It's
I
not
wouldn't
the
even
best.
look
Oh,
back
no.
at that as incredible.
No, didn't we have some in Mississippi that was like really good?
Yes,
Like incredible?
we sure did. Yeah, we used to go to Jackson, Mississippi for some reason. Too much.
We've gone twice.
Going to Jackson, Mississippi twice. I mean, if you live there, you know where you live. You know what that place is. Place is wild. And choosing to go there twice for a trip. It's crazy. People in Jackson were asking us, what are you doing? Why are you here? There was just like literally a blind drug dealer in front of me with a cane, and he had a flip phone and with the text blown up, and he was doing drug deals. Only one of his eyes worked a little bit, and it was this close to his eye, and he was texting like this in front of me, talking about how much they want and shit. And I was just like, this is the most ghetto.
We could read it from like across the room because the text was huge.
Yeah. And there was a cop right next to him. His friend. I was just like, yeah. This is
So
Jackson.
funny.
This is absolutely Jackson, Mississippi. I got so drunk that night. So unbelievably drunk. I went out for a bachelor party at like a Ruby Tuesdays or something. Like, I don't know what it was.
I think it was a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. There you go. And I was like, "Do you have scotch?" And they were like, "You know where you are?" And I was like, "All right." Like the lady actually like said that to me, like trying to give me like a movie line about like I think I'm uppity. I was like, "I just want." Okay, I said, "Okay, whatever." I was like, "Whatever is close to that, please help me." And then all the dudes there were like, "Whoa, Dave can put him back. Look at him go." And I was like, I am on an express train out of here. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to just space right now. I am fucking gone. So I just drank until mentally I was somewhere else. And then I ended up dancing on stage at a club where clearly only ladies dance on stage. And then the bouncer pulled me off the stage. And that was exciting.
And then we got kicked out, right?
I don't think so. Did we get kicked out?
I think we left
remember.
because I was pregnant and people were smoking inside.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's what happened. I was like, okay, we gotta go.
But anyway. Yes, I got destroyed there. And then I just threw up a ton. I think I did, didn't I? Wasn't that the night I just couldn't stop throwing up?
You've had a couple of those nights.
Yes.
The one I remember, we were in, was it in Salem or was when we were in Boston?
No, we were in Boston. And I wasn't drunk. We just went to a seafood restaurant.
We got oysters.
And I have...
No, you had like a little bit of alcohol.
I didn't get drunk.
No, not drunk.
I had like a drink.
Yeah.
And then that's not why I was throwing up. I was throwing up because of the oysters. And I've never had that happen where I just sat like...
No, the problem was that I was really drunk because you were like, I think the other night you got drunk or something and then I got drunk that night and then I was like, couldn't help you and I would like wake up.
Oh, I was around the toilet going...
And I would wake up and be like, are you okay?
Like,
and
like
I'd
throw
pass
up
back out.
Throw up in movies where like the person's screaming while puking. Like I didn't think people really did that. That felt like a joke. Like I've seen it in like memes and stuff. Like whatever, like viral videos. But like that happened to me where I was screaming, not because I wanted to, it was just coming out of me. And vomit was coming with it, like an Evil Dead movie. I just couldn't stop.
It was so terrible.
It was so violent.
And like I was basically waking up every hour to screaming and being like, are you okay?
Just puke everywhere. I was like, I can't possibly.
At least you didn't
throw
have
up
red
anymore.
wine. Did I tell you about that? My boss told me that. My old boss at the pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
She had told me that they go to Napa every year and her husband threw up red wine because they were tasting red wine all over like an entirely white bathroom and got like their carpet stained. And it smelled like puke and it was red wine, of course.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Good thing it was just oysters.
I mean, there was nothing good about it. There was no good thing it was anything. It was insane. That's the worst I've ever puked in my life.
Yeah, I don't think... So then what we were talking about, you were saying, was that the night I puked all night? But I don't think you did in Jackson.
I puked a little bit. I remember throwing up.
I think you did.
It just wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but you had a pretty bad headache the next day, I think.
Yeah, I ate
'Cause
a
you
ton
had-
at
you
that
had
like, restaurant.
And you also had like really cheap alcohol, I think.
Yeah. It wasn't doing too hot. But it was funny. Because then the best man of that wedding got arrested that night.
Yeah.
And then just didn't make it to the wedding. It was exciting.
Wild.
It was very funny.
I think the funniest part about all of that is not that it happened, but just that nobody seemed to really be all that bothered by it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he's in jail. And I was like, is that just normal?
Yeah.
Like,
it
was
is normal. Of course.
what world did we step into?
I love him just totally missing. The
Yeah.
best man just gone. I was having a hard time because I knew nobody, and obviously everybody knew everybody. So I was like, I don't know any of these dudes.
So, let me interject for a second. One of her bridesmaids or her maid of honor, her best friend, right?
Mhm.
Never mind.
What?
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I knew nobody, and I was just there, and I was out with all these dudes who were like just bringing me along. And I could tell that they were like feeling a certain kind of way about me being there, like a little, like, I don't know, like put off, like embarrassed that like they're taking me to these kind of dead places. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I just want to. And I'm like asking questions to like the cop dude. I'm like, what's it like being a cop in Mississippi? I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was just this tagging along dude. It was terrible.
Well, you were like totally okay with just hanging out at the hotel, weren't you?
I would have done anything else. I would have done anything. I would have just gone and just lived on the street. Like
Yeah.
Anything would have been better than what I did.
And I think they were all like making you go. Like, you have to go out. All the guys are going out.
You're one of the guys. Do the guy stuff. Woo. Be a guy. All right.
Hey, guy.
You don't want me to get that drunk around a bunch of dudes. I'll be like, my friends are dead. Just start zoning out, staring off outside. Everything went bad after a certain time. I don't see any of those people anymore. This is coming together. So what were you gonna tell me off stream?
She liked the guy who got arrested, and but she also liked the other guy from a previous trip, and so she was like kind of thankful that that guy got arrested, because then she didn't have to make it awkward at the
Okay.
reception. She could just dance with one the whole night. Just choose one instead of avoid both. Or have to choose one in front of the other.
Right. Oh, stretching.
I know, I'm so bad at sitting. I feel like I could stand the whole time, but I hate sitting. I can't sit still.
You want a podium?
Yeah, I do. Just put me in a corner with a podium. That's fine. I don't need to be like on a stage or anything.
Coming along. A decent amount of progress in one stream.
Mm-hmm.
And the job that I'm working on, that's a painting job, they chose a really good composition for me to do. It's relatively simple. I'm pretty excited about it. Got that feedback today and yesterday on like what I'm doing. I was pretty happy with that. It's always a good feeling when the client chooses the compositions that you really like. So that's always nice. Something to look forward to for the next couple weeks. It's working. I think one of the worst aspects for me of not having like a project that's my own thing on the side is that when I do something like this and it is mine, you know, like this is like a version of a project, but it's not exactly what I want to do, I end up becoming like a bit too precious about certain things. Like, God, a lot depends on this being good. Like, I just want this to be good. That I don't do things like I'm doing right now, which is nice to like come back to and just get that perspective and be like, don't worry about it. Like, this is just a robot painting. A robot's fighting a dragon. Like, just feel free when you're doing this. Like, don't make yourself feel like anything about this is super precious. Like, just paint. Just enjoy it. And so I'm doing that right now. I'm just kind of flying through it because I'm not really, you know, worried about it. And I'm staying zoomed out the whole time. So I'm making decisions that are better for like the broader strokes of the whole image, as opposed to all these little teeny tiny things, which is good for certain focal points.
How do you know when you've developed your own style and what it is?
I don't think you do. I think other people tell you that. I certainly didn't know I had a style. You know, like that thing is still surprising to me when people come back and they go like, oh, I saw your image on the PlayStation store, and like I knew it was you from the style. And I think like, okay, like cool, but I don't really know what that means. I'm like, I don't know exactly what you see where you go, that's Dave Raposa. I don't know what that is necessarily. I know certain things, like I can be like pretty, you know, like straightforward about that and be like, oh, it's like the texture, or it's the you know, something I do with like Starvale or something, where it has like a specific color palette. But in terms of
Client
something
work.
kind of normal like Diablo, like I don't know how you know that's me. Not really.
But apparently people do.
Yeah.
You ever make 2 or 3 thumbnails really shit, so they pick the one you like, but then they pick the shit one?
No, that's the coward's move. I make all of them as good as I possibly can, even the ones that they want that I know won't work. If anybody ever asks me for something and I go like, well, that's not really what I'd like to do, I'll still go all out on it. And I just go, well, if they choose it, at least it's going to be good. It'll still work on a fundamental level. I'm not going to be locked into something I hate. It's gonna actually function. So that still needs to be a part of it. I would never be like, here's trash. Because, you know, you do that to yourself. You know, who are you fucking over in that? That's you're fucking over. Because you're the one who's going to have to spend hours working on that. So if you want to have a terrible time, go ahead and make that mistake. I've made that mistake in the past of being like, here's why it wouldn't work. And then I was like, why am I doing that? You know, like this is like when I'm very young that I was doing that. And then I kind of was like, okay,
Well, you
everything
develop
needs to be
work
good.
ethic as you get older, I'm sure. A lot of that.
Well, it's yes.
And competency.
But it was also having to do with like, I hit a certain point where people were hiring me like as a person. They're like, oh, I want Dave's style. So when that's the case, it felt more like, oh no, like I'm starting to get like recognized for doing this thing. So if I don't show up every single time and do my best, I'm eventually gonna lose that. You know, you only get a few of those. It's like you have to like you can get lucky and get like certain jobs, but then you really need to show up and do the best so that you get brought back again over and over. And yeah, that's super important.
I think that's the real reason why people can't freelance. Maybe they feel like not as responsible to the employee or the client because it's not their like, it's like a contracted thing, you know?
Yeah, I think it is like you're kind of you're the whole thing when you're a freelancer. You're not like part of a larger thing necessarily.
You're like, you have to think about it as like being your own agent.
Yeah.
Like how to secure the next job, and it could be from the same client.
Well, like you don't just immediately get fired and never work again if you have a salary.
Yeah.
Like if you fuck up as a freelancer, you can lose that client right away. Not that you couldn't do that as like a full-time employee, but it's harder. Like if you just mess up your job and you're terrible to work with, then they won't bring you back. Yeah, look at that. This is the before tonight, after. It's pretty good.
Nice. I wanted to see on your screen.
And then the same thing on the dragon, except I flattened it so I can't show you before and after. So there you go.
Just imagine it.
Yeah, imagine it.
Jump back to the beginning of the stream and then jump forward again.
Or somewhere in the middle when I was working on the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
I'll hop off here in a couple minutes. I'm just gonna work on this hand Any questions in the chat?
Yeah,
Anything?
two people just dropped some questions.
Sure.
How long does it usually take you to do a piece like this? In my case, illustrations like this probably take me twice as long as you, and I end up getting bored to the point of abandon or rush it. So how long does it take you to do something like this?
For me, this would probably take me, realistically, I don't know. How long have I been working on this? Maybe like a week or less.
I was gonna say 5 to 7 days. That's funny.
Yeah, something like that. Don't abandon stuff. You'll never get better. Even if you don't want to do it, force yourself to do it. Become, like you can make your brain basically become accustomed to giving up. And that can be like, if you keep allowing yourself to give up and give up and give up and give up, that becomes like a neural pathway in your brain that you take automatically on a bigger project, because you start to get, like, you can tell yourself, oh, I'm bored. Are you really? Is it just boredom, or is it this fear of committing to the thing and finishing it? Because you don't know what finishing looks like or whatever. It's like, and then you start getting into the routine of actively completing projects and things that you say you're going to do. And you get addicted to that and you go, okay, if I can just get past that uncomfortable feeling right towards the end or like the middle of a painting and just keep going, then I'm going to hit that stride. It's going to get great. I'm going to start to actually develop as an artist and figure this out. It's like, you need to do that. You can't just be like, oh, I'm done, move on, whatever. It's like, you will never get better from that. Like, you won't like reach this apex. Like, it's not going to happen. You have to start getting in the routine of making yourself commit and finish things, even if they're not going to be great. Just finish things and start to become the person who finishes things. I promise you that'll like speed up your progress quite a bit.
Magular says, maybe a little bit of a silly question, but I'm in a position where I have so much freedom to do digital or traditional art, anything from making comics to games to illustration, but I'm struggling because as soon as I choose one, I want to do the others. I feel like I'm missing out.
Same thing I said before. Almost this advice I just gave almost applies exactly to that. It's just commit to one, see it to the end, do the next one. That happens to me too. Like, when I'm working on something, I want to stop and do the next thing every single time. I don't allow myself to do that. You just have to say, you just have to resist that urge, say no to that, and then just do the thing you know you're supposed to be doing and finish that thing. Don't die with all of the best still inside you.
You said you're ending soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should I wait to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I'm gonna just stop in a second. I'm just trying to clean up some of these bright spots that shouldn't be there. Cool. I mean, it looks way better than it did. So I'm happy with that. The Portuguese learning. Non-existent. Guy.
Olá. Obrigada. Linguiça. I feel like I heard a sentence. I'm probably just gonna make sounds right now.
It's a good thing your last name is Raposa, so it doesn't come off as offensive. Are you gonna say it?
I'm gonna look up how it's spelled because I don't know if it's. Never mind. I don't know. Pescado. I don't know. I'm saying words I know in Spanish. I don't know.
I'm gonna say this sentence. Pescado.
I didn't say sentence.
That's it.
I said there was a phrase that I thought I remembered, but when I looked up what I thought it was, I don't think it's what I thought it was, so I don't want to say it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say what is that one? That cheese bread called? Do you remember? Pão de queijo. I don't know if I said that right, but that's about all I got.
Yeah, we know it means fox. We have a bunch of fox themed things in the house.
Been following since Mr. Delicious concept art.
That's 30 years ago. No, I don't know. It's a while. That's 40 years ago. Okay. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate you immensely. This is wonderful. I like it. Painting's coming along. I feel good about it. I'll probably do a few more like little details here and there. And then I'll adjust all the colors in these guys and then I'll work on the rest. But I like it. It doesn't look like total shit. Alright. Love to you all. We'll see you next week. Appreciate you and have a good night.